So today we're going to be playing Industrialist. What? Industrialist is this really cool game in my opinion, where as we can see here it's a factory construction and expansion game. As we can see here, it's got all of these cool builds and boilers and look at that. That's a, what is that? Nuclear cooling tower? I don't know the name of it. As we can see in the background, that's a nuclear power plant. I don't know what's going on here. And that's an exhaust stack. Okay. I've got all these different types of things. But I've been playing Industrialist for a while now, and so we're gonna go ahead and play this world. By a while, I mean around 4 months, and I feel like in 4 months I've really gotten a lot done. If we load into the game here right off the bat, we have all these different types of machines. Here we have our pollution meter, which is negative 315%. That's why our grass is kind of neon green. But the reason why we have all these lights and a sign here is because at the start of the game, I had placed down a bunch of level 1 research stations, and I could never find the pollution detector thing. But over here we have probably one of my favorite machines that, what is this thing called? Fortech has ever made, because, well, it's Christmas and cannons, and I love cannons and Christmas. But I don't know if this thing will ever come back. Honestly, I really have no idea. But if it doesn't come back in any future winter updates, I'm gonna be kind of sad. And also, I will have a relic, as well as many other people will have the relic, aka this. But this thing has kind of been cut from production because it doesn't fire anymore. So let's see. Over here, this is where we used to make our chairs that we would put into this thing. So here we can still see that we have chairs at the ready, presents, and oak logs. Our presents are still being produced over here, as we can see. Still got plenty paper. This used to be backed up on black dye, almost 300 black dye total. I don't know. But I've made a lot of diesel engines for power, and recently I've found that I'm not using them very much. Like, look, these are like overloaded on power. So we're gonna go over here real quickly. We're gonna go energy, and we are going to buy our modular diesel engines. So now we have those. Over here, this is our diesel refinery. We have tons and tons of diesel refineries. Recently I've made the advancement to ethanol and acetic acid and everything. Looks like I'm backed up on acetic acid, and many people who play Industrialist and who are this level or higher, or have watched plenty of tutorials or other people play Industrialist, should know that machines like these actually lead to plastic production. And that is exactly what I'm doing. And over here we can see that we're kind of running low on plastic pellets, but that's perfectly fine. As you can see, we have a lot of residue. I mean, a lot of residue. Like, this big line right here, this big pipe, it's full of residue. See right there? But over here we have our huge truck depot loading up the residue bottles. This is probably one of my favorite pictures in the whole game. It's put strictly because there is a cat in the bottle. So, yeah. Over here, I didn't want to lose all of my research station ones because, well, I still kind of need research points, as we can see down here. So, I just kind of threw down a bunch right here, grabbed one of these bad boys, and made this entire power line just going down, powering all of them. These are probably the first line of research stations level 3 that I've ever made. Here, there's coal. We're not making much coal right now because we're using the advanced, but the less pollution the better, because we get a huge money boost and a huge research boost. Over here is another residue bottle production line. This one is a little bit bigger, but it was also made much more recently. As you can see here, plenty of MEG, plenty of PTA. I just call it MEG because I don't want to say MEG. It's faster. This is a bunch of just crazy piping right here, but this is basically my biggest power production area, considering all the, what it's called, like water diesel engines. Large diesel engines, yeah. But take a refined diesel, filtered water, and machine oil. But we're not making enough diesel, which is kind of sad, because we need that for most of our power. And I recently got our, the HMVTs, so I have not had time to upgrade all of these power lines, and they're quite expensive. How much are they? Like 100,000 per thing? 10,000? 10,000. Well, pretty expensive, but it's nothing. This area is probably our most packed area. Right next to this area, where a bunch of our scrubbers are. Oh, this is another one of our scrubber lines over here. As you can see, we got the liquid tanks over there. Most likely filled up with residue, but who knows. Oh yeah, I forgot I made this. I don't know what the point of this was. Probably just to make a little bit of money. But something I really want to show you guys is over here. This actually took me 2 days, maybe 3 days to fully finish, and actually I don't think it's completely finished yet, but why is this not working? Of course. Hold on, let me just make 1 MMF per rotation, right? No. Yeah, that'll help it. Over here, we are completely backed up on ethylene. Holy shit. But this all goes over here into what? But this all goes into plastic production over here, as we can see. Peroxide and mucic acid goes out to make PTA. PTA travels all the way over here through these pipes. Backed up a bit on PTA, but goes into here. And then the MEG MEG comes from these, which goes through here into this. Backed up on MEG, goes into this. and it basically spins it around, heats it up, whatever. Each time it gets enough power, and then it produces the plastic pellets. And this one is a little more less efficient than that one, pretty sure. Yeah, but I just figured out something. Can't believe this. You guys shame me, bro. But plastic pellets come from here, come to here, and they go into these, and this lever, you can change it from a bottle to a gearbox. Right now we're on gearbox because I need to make gearboxes. And then goes all the way over here into these. Crankshafts are made from, oh boy, the iron, and we throw the iron into one of these, melts it down, and then throws it into one of these ingot molders. And we use these ingots and throw them into here. I'll explain on how to make coke fuel later. Then those iron ingots get fired up inside of these blast furnaces and exit into these rollers, which make steel rods. And we got about 3 rollers here. And then over here we have our gears. First, the steel ingots get pressed down, and then they get thrown into the rollers to make gears. And then the gears come all the way over here into one of these craft assemblers, and then gears and steel rods get put together to make a crankshaft. So crankshafts come all the way over here into more craft assemblers with the plastic casings. And we have another line, so we have 6 total right here, basically 1 for each research station, but I'm actually gonna plan on remaking these pretty soon. So for example, this one will go all the way to that one, this one to that one, this one to that one, and so on and so on. That is basically my main research income. And if we go all the way back to spawn, right over here, this is it. Now we go over here, go to here. Our research station tier 3s keep going on and off, but it's whatever, as long as we make our research points. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so this game honestly is probably one of my favorite creation games on Roblox, just because of all the things you can make. But personally, one complaint I have about this game is I don't think it has enough chemicals. But, well, in here we can see that we've got all these different types of chemicals, but I just feel like we don't have enough, you know? I want something that would be awesome would be if there was a game like Industrialist, but it was mainly focused on chemicals and not making machines. So fusing chemicals, basically. And here we got another blast furnace to make steel ingots to go into here. Come out of steel rods. Steel plate. Come out as gears. Just another crankshaft. We do not have enough gears. That's sad. Earlier I was kind of running low on money here because I was finishing that project over there, and I could not find my coil money farm. So let's see if we can find it. Let's reset these real quickly. No, gotta make sure. Alright. Scrubbers don't get backed up on residue, as we can see. Well, not anymore, but we got 254, 300 liters of residue gaining. That was a lot of residue. Ooh, so tough. Anyways, let's see if we can find. Oh, we're here again. Let's see if we can find our money farm. This world is really compact, so it's gonna be very hard to find it. Shafts. And last time I tried to find it, I circled the map for about 5 times. Let's see. Yeah, honestly, I might circle the map a couple of times. So, farm was kind of like this, where there were 2 vans or trucks or whatever right next to each other, but a little bit more closer. So let's see if we can find it. I literally cannot find it, dude. Where is it? Please, where is it? Okay, well, if I find it, I'll show you guys it or whatever. But yeah, this is a cool game. Definitely my favorite game. Yeah.